What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American, here today to react and learn about Canadian Heritage Minutes, which are these 1 minute long videos that teach you about important moments and people throughout all of Canadian history. And today, I am excited to continue my journey watching all of the Heritage Minutes. I've currently seen how many? 48 out of the 100 episodes. After today, I will have officially watched more than half of the Heritage Minutes. I feel like by the end of this, I should get an honorary degree in like Canadian history or something. I have spent months watching this series of videos and I've really enjoyed it. They're absolutely fascinating stories. So today I'm excited to see what we have, starting with Mona Parsons, which is someone I've never heard of before, but Mona Parsons was a partisan World War II Allied agent in the Netherlands who escapes execution and later imprisonment by the Nazis. My God, what a story. This is a true story. This is a real person? Oh my God, what a life. They were in the Netherlands. They escaped execution. I really hope they go into some detail. As horrible as that sounds, it also sounds really fascinating. They escaped execution. For some reason, I imagine like Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean escaping being hanged as a pirate. I don't know why. But she was in the Netherlands escaping her execution and imprisonment by the Nazis. My God, is there any more information about this? Mona Parsons, actress? Did she also have time to do some acting later after this? Nurse, resistance fighter. Wow, what a life. Died in Nova Scotia in 1976. Mona Parsons was the only Canadian woman to be imprisoned by the German army. Yet her story is unfamiliar in Canada. Oh, this is unfamiliar in Canada. Well, it's very unfamiliar in the United States. I've never heard of her before. And unfortunately, it sounds like she's not very well known in Canada as well. But maybe that means today is our opportunity to give her a little time in the spotlight to hear her story. She got her own Heritage Minute, and I'm not surprised because this story sounds crazy. Let's take a look.
No. I'm telling you, I was in a German prison camp for 4 years.
What's going on here, Sergeant?
Claims she's a Canadian, sir, but she could be a German spy.
Oh my God. So, what? So they don't know if her story is true right now? She's been in a German prisoner camp for 4 years? Is that what she was saying? How did she get out of that? Are they not going to go into that? Somehow she escaped a German prison camp after 4 years. Put that through your brain for a second. And now she's in the Netherlands, it said, and she's talking to either the Netherlands or the Canadian military there, and they're not sure if she's telling the truth. And okay, what a horrible situation that would be. You're finally out of like war, like prison camp, only to be found by your own people, and they don't know if you're a spy or not.
What's your name, lady?
Mona Parsons.
Mona Parsons? From Wolfville. It's me, Harry Foster.
What?
Are you?
What?
I was in the resistance. The Gestapo got me.
What? What? Is this really how it happened? Is this actually, like, true? Like, literal fact? She was talking to the military, trying to explain her identity, and someone standing nearby, like, knew her? Or knew of her from Canada? This does not help the stereotype. This does not help the stereotype that all Canadians know each other. Or when a Canadian comes to the U.S. and Americans are like, "Oh, do you know John from Canada?" And it's like, Canadians don't all know each other. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. If you're judging by this, he knew her?
What's your name, lady?
Mona Parsons.
Mona Parsons? From Wolfville. It's me, Harry Foster.
Harry?
What happened to you?
What?
I was in the resistance.
That's
The
crazy.
Gestapo got me.
Darauf besteht die Todesstrafe durch Erschießen.
Oh my god. So, is this like a flashback to when the Gestapo arrested her? They're gonna execute her by firing squad. How? How did she get out of this?
En Herren. Goedemorgen.
Dear lady, you have great courage. I recommend you appeal the sentence.
Living in Holland during the war, Mona Parsons had helped downed Allied airmen get back to Britain.
I will escape.
And she did escape. And back in Nova Scotia after the war, she married General Harry Foster.
She married Harry Foster. This is like a whole romance novel all in one in the Heritage Minute. So what happened here? Can we break this down for a sec? She said something back to the German police here that were arresting her and are going to execute her. And then afterwards, this guy, who is German, who's a Nazi, is like, hey, you know what? You're okay. You're all right. You should appeal this. You should appeal death by firing squad. Like, huh? Where did that come from?
You appeal the sentence.
Living in Holland during the war, Mona Parsons...
What? Is it because she speaks German, or do they like that, or what? They just thought she was like spunky and fight. Like what? Huh? What? Why did they suddenly change their whole tune?
had helped downed Allied airmen get back to Britain.
I will escape.
And she did escape. And back in Nova Scotia after the war, she married General Harry Foster.
Wow, and she helped downed air fighter pilots escape back to Britain. What an amazing person. Amazing story. I've got some questions on some of the details of her story, but that's incredible. Okay, let's keep going. This is called the Boat People, refugees. A family escapes persecution in Vietnam, traveling by boat to a Malaysian refugee camp before finding a new home in Montreal. What a story here. This is just like a story of, today is just a story of just survival and perseverance. So this is about refugees from Vietnam who eventually came to Canada? Is that right? I didn't know anything about this. Is there any more info? 40 years ago, Canada opened its doors to the first wave of refugees from Vietnam. Wow! Cambodia and Laos. After American troops withdrew from Vietnam, continental Southeast Asia was left to the mercy of revolutionary forces. So that is why a lot of Vietnamese people wanted to leave and go to a new country, because it was kind of like chaotic. When it became clear communists from North Vietnam would invade South Vietnam, many Vietnamese tried to escape the country, and Canada let in 6,500 of these refugees. That's amazing, truly. And it seems to be like a sort of a long-standing policy or tradition for Canada to really be generous in opening its doors to refugees and immigrants who need that escape or that opportunity. That's fantastic. So there's a video that goes along with this. Okay. 1979.
My mother said we had to leave home. The communists were going to take my father away.
Wow. Jump! Jump!
If my parents were afraid, they didn't show us. But we would never forget our escape from Vietnam.
Oh my God.
We
Wow.
were lost.
Wow, this is really, really well shot. This is like a movie or something.
Forget our escape from Vietnam. We were lost.
I like that they're showing it like this. Very visceral, very real. Like, a lot of us can say that we've never experienced anything like this in our life, but this was the reality for these families, having to flee their own country to go somewhere they didn't know of or understand and hope that they were welcomed. And not to mention fleeing by boat and jumping into the water. Like, people really had to do this.
We'd never forget our escape from Vietnam. We were lost.
What was your job in Vietnam?
University professor.
We had no home.
Do you have any family in Canada?
No, sir.
Nobody wanted us.
Oh. Ooh.
Welcome to Canada.
Canada chose us.
Oh, that was the friendliest. This is this really what the Canadian military personnel in the middle of Malaysia, were they this friendly? Only a Canadian. I think they're in Malaysia.
Nobody wanted us.
No, but so they were trying to figure out like what country they're going to immigrate to, and they're talking to like the Canadian desk, I guess. And Canada's like, yeah, welcome. That must have been like such a special moment for this family.
Welcome to Canada.
Canada chose us.
Canadians opened their borders, their
Montreal.
homes, and their hearts to more than 100,000 refugees fleeing persecution after the
Wow.
Vietnam War.
What are they? What is this? What a Canadian welcome. Oh, if you flee your country and immigrate to Canada, you have to be a hockey fan. I don't know what team this is. This must be. Are they in Montreal? I think they said. Maybe this is a Montreal team. You gotta be fans or you're out of here.
We were home.
Wow, that is cool though. This video said Canada let in like 100,000 refugees. That's much more than the article said, like 6,000. Might have been 100,000. Wow, and they found a new life. I mean, thousands of families found a new life in Canada. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm sure there are families to this day that still like remember these events and doing this, and that their family immigrated to Canada in this way, and I'm sure it's very special to them, and that they consider themselves Canadians, like now in the present day, which is really special. Wow, that was a good one. That was a very good one. And finally, we have Governor Frontenac. I might not be pronouncing that correctly. New France, under the leadership of French Governor Louis de Bois de Frontenac. It's my best attempt at saying that name. Stands their ground at the Battle of Quebec. What is the Battle of Quebec? I don't know anything about that. It was in 1690. Okay, so under the leadership of Governor Frontenac, they are standing their ground at the Battle of Quebec. Is there any more details on this? He was a Governor General of New France. Anything? I don't know. There's a lot of very specific details here. He obtained governorship in Canada in 1672. After 1675, he conflicted with Jacques Duchesneau in the fur trade. Okay, I don't think we need to know all these details. It's a lot. So let's just focus on this story of standing their ground at the Battle of Quebec. Okay, that sounds very intense.
Move along, all of you! Make way for the envoy! Make way
October 18th, an envoy comes ashore with an ultimatum of surrender for Governor Frontenac.
Oh.
It's been a long time since I've seen the enemy this close. Tell me, Caporal. Lieutenant. Ah oui, Lieutenant. About your Colonel Schnips. General Phipps.
What? What is going on here? Some of these older Heritage Minutes get a little crazy. I've noticed that. Is this Governor Frontenac here with the long hair, like waltzing up to? Who is this? Like a British soldier? They've come to tell the people of Quebec City that they're taking over, and Governor Frontenac is being rather, mischievous here, a real rapscallion, kind of making fun of them or something.
October 18, an envoy comes ashore with an ultimatum of surrender for Governor Frontenac.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I've seen the enemy. It is close. Tell me, Caporal. Lieutenant. Ah oui, Lieutenant.
Who did they get to play this guy? He's fantastic. He's really pushing their buttons, though.
About your Colonel Schnips. General Phipps. Ah, Phipps, oui. Is he still such an idiot?
Oh, man, this guy is triggered. He is triggered. Is this Governor Frontenac trolling him, I think?
Ah, Phipps, oui. Is he still such an idiot?
Oh.
Oh God, monsieur! Does he really think he can conquer Quebec with only 2 or 3 ships? Monsieur, we have 34 ships and a full regiment from Boston.
This is fantastic. It's funny that I made that Pirates of the Caribbean reference earlier, because this literally looks like Pirates of the Caribbean. There's like a sword fight going on.
Frontenac has 1 hour to surrender. You terrify me, Caporal. Wait! Enough! Arrêtez! Well, Governor Frontenac, you're applied.
No, this is Governor Frontenac. Why is he coming in? He's coming in at the end of this video. This other guy stole the show. I want the Heritage Minute to be about this guy. Who's he? Who's this guy? I want to know more about him. He had the gall to make fun of all these like British soldiers and call them by the wrong name, and then get into a sword fight. We will never surrender. You know, doing this crazy French accent. And okay, this is Governor Frontenac. Okay.
Hey, sir. I will reply from the mouth of my cannon.
Oh, you know what? This is dubbed. This was originally in French, I think. I can tell it's dubbed, like they overdubbed it with different voices. I think that's part of why this is so crazy.
I will reply from the mouth of my cannon.
Oh.
The Americans pressed the attack, but Frontenac beat them off. Phipps weighed anchor and never returned.
Wait, those were Americans?
For my cannon.
I will reply with my cannon. These guys go pretty hard.
The Americans pressed the attack, but Frontenac beat them off. Phipps weighed anchor and never returned.
What? Then are they saying Americans then attacked as well? And then Frontenac defeated Americans? Us? We tried to take Quebec City, or? I'm not sure. I'm a little confused. This Heritage Minute was really entertaining, but it didn't actually focus on Governor Frontenac all that much for it to be named after him, you know? Interesting, nonetheless. That is one of the crazier Heritage Minutes that I've seen. And I think with that, that's a good place to stop for today. Those were some really, really entertaining Heritage Minutes. Some really, really great stories. Really, really tragic, dramatic stories, entertaining, like amazing Canadians that have existed. I'm really pleased to learn about, actually, and it's quite fun. So anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these Heritage Minutes here today. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture and learning about Canada for the first time, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.